2 years and 1 day to the Alpine tornado, we have yet another show being postponed in the Midwest from Dave Matthews Band. This time there was no tornado. The lightning was there, but it had already passed. It appears maybe a little bit of flooding and a lack of drainage may have postponed this show. We're going to try to get some answers from fans who were at the show, starting off with a pre-recorded interview from my friend Amanda. We'll also reach out to Connor F. after the post-show stream intro song. And we're going to go over some other things like the Nugs contract DMB has, giving audio to be available for every show forward on the tour, courtesy of Nugs. We'll talk about that and more. The DMB post-show stream starts with this interview pre-recorded with my friend Amanda, who is from the Twin Cities and was hoping to see a show nearby, but that didn't happen tonight. What up? It's your boy Conserviz34, and as you guys may know, the show here in Minnesota was postponed due to just the weather impacting the venue, amongst other things. So I thought it'd be cool to bring on my friend Amanda, who lives in Minnesota, and can properly pronounce the name of this town that the venue is in and get some of her perspective. So let's start off with this, Amanda. How do you pronounce the name of the town here that this venue's in?
It is pronounced Shakopee.
Shakopee. Okay, perfect. Now I know that, like shock. And so walk us through first, what was it like getting into the venue today ahead of this show?
Well, nobody got in the venue. They did not open the doors at all. I think I can't remember what time the doors were supposed to open, but at 6 o'clock, the venue put out an announcement that the doors were being held and everyone should go to their cars. At that point, it was like raining pretty heavily, and there had been like lightning and thunder in the area. So I assume that was for like safety's sake.
Okay, so that's interesting. Nobody got in the physical venue for tonight's show. And as far as the parking lots or outside of the venue, what time did you arrive to the parking lots?
It was right about 6 o'clock, I think, probably just a little bit before. And yeah, I mean, it was, it's a new venue, so nobody really knows what it's gonna be like, parking wise. But we were able to get in pretty easily, parked, and we sat in the car for a bit just because it was pouring. And after we had been sitting there just a few minutes, we got the update that the doors were postponed pending further information, and that they wanted people to go back to their cars.
And that alert was shared amongst the DMB community as the initial report was to, get back to your cars here as we, wait the weather. Was there any sort of things you noticed outside, maybe people in their cars trying to hold out, music blasting, or any sort of channeling of JTR?
There was some mention of JTR a few times, but no, I mean, the venue had, like, explicitly stated on their website that tailgating was not allowed. So I didn't know what to expect going into it. There were a few of those like pop-up canopy tent things that people had at the back of their vehicles. But for the most part, nobody was tailgating that I saw. Then when the rain kind of started to let up, people started lining up to the gates, and then there was like a very long line that everybody was just standing around. And so, and there were like 3 porta potties that I saw. That was it for
Oh,
everyone. Yeah, so there was a very long line to use the restroom. Uh, and so we waited in that, and then we went and met up with a friend of ours who was at like very near to the front of the line, and we were chatting with him, and then that's when we got the message. I don't even know how we found out. Somebody in my group got a message that the show was rescheduled.
and so you get news that the show is rescheduled.
people who are really paying attention. Once it started like spreading, like because the venue had set up a phone number where you could text, and then you would get text updates from them
Yeah.
if you signed up. So I'm thinking that that's what happened. Is somebody we were standing near must have gotten that text saying that the show had been rescheduled. And so then like this family that was behind us, who had some like middle school age kids, they were like, what's going on? Because they didn't know, they didn't get the text. And so I was like, yeah, the school show's rescheduled. And she's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no. And so then everybody just kind of started going back to their cars. And then of course it was a total disaster getting out of the parking lot because people were driving like dicks. So yeah, we sat in the car and hung out and listened to music and tried to relax while everybody was fighting to get out.
All right. And just as a local that lives in this metro, the Twin Cities, what is it like to have this venue open up despite the postponement today? What is it like to have a venue like this in the area and the possibility of maybe more D&B shows coming?
It's awesome. So excited. There's a huge lineup for the summer at this venue. We have tickets to other shows. So just like a lot of shows that had skipped the Twin Cities in the past 10 years are now coming, which is awesome. So very excited to have the venue. And I mean, from the shows this weekend, I mean, it sounded and looked from pictures I saw that, it's a great place. So looking forward to our next show there, which isn't until August.
All right. Well, for some reason, God allowed Machine Gun Kelly to get a show off, but paused Dave Matthews Band from performing tonight. But I'm sure they will make it up to fans who can get to the rescheduled date in August ahead of their West Coast run of shows. So we'll see what happens in August. But thank you for coming on, Amanda, and have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, Marcus.
All right.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Minnesota, what up? Shout out to Taurus Reed Jr., UConn, drafted to the Nuggets. Minneapolis, what up? Shout out to my family friends in Brooklyn Park. Maple Grove, what up? Bloomington, what up? Original home of the Minnesota Vikings. St. Paul, what up? Shakopee, what up? Methane, shout out for actually making a good poster. It's been a while. Rochester, what up? Shout out to the Mall of America. R.I.P. Prince. R.I.P. to the Metrodome. St. Cloud, what up? Des Moines, Iowa, I see y'all. Free Dodo. What up? It's your boy ConserViz34, and today was rain was in the forecast, but I don't think anyone foresaw a brand new venue having drainage and flooding issues. And that's kind of what happened here today. Let's get this clip here. Now, Sanjay put some videos up ahead of the show. It looks like they were on Instagram. They got removed. I don't know if he was told to take them down. What he exposed during the delay of the doors opening, the doors never did open, was the roof was leaking. And he also exposed just some of the flooding in the pit area. Now, this happens at Jones Beach every other show. But this was a little different. It's a new venue. And it appears this pile up of rain played a big factor. Let's go ahead and try to zoom this in as much as possible just to show you guys. This was during the start of some of the rain piling up and flooding, but below where the space between where the little, partition or little black gates are, in the front of the stage, there was more standing water. And so they did not want to have this show go on. And maybe we'll get some more information from our first live guest. You heard my friend Amanda. Maybe they have more details on maybe why this was postponed. But there was no tornado. There was some storms. But it just appears that they did not think out the drainage of a venue that's in the Midwest. And if you're in the Midwest, you know rain can come down like this. The nature of the flat lands and the topography leads to places that can flood pretty quickly, especially when you got these lakes and rivers. And so let's go ahead. We're going to set things up for our first guest to come on, Connor. Let me just get him off mute. Maybe he has more insight, but I did not expect this looking at the forecast, hearing from fans that were concerned about a little storm. But we'll try to get some more insight from Connor. Let's go ahead and bring him on here. Connor, how you doing tonight?
Well, I could be doing a lot better, but I am alive, so I got to be grateful for the small things. I could still be at the concert right now, but we go on, live another day. We see the band in Kansas City tomorrow. We see them in Indy this weekend. We got more shows this year, but just a crazy turn of events.
Did you get any insight as far as why this show may have been postponed, or anything you experienced that maybe you think is the main reason?
I didn't get any insight. I'm gonna be asking people around probably in the morning, but for someone who was in, the Minneapolis area, it definitely did have to do with the precipitation and the roof leaking, which led to the flooding. And I don't know if anyone have seen any pictures of this place, but the way the roof was built, it almost looks like each section between different parts of the roof was just exposed to the air. So I feel that every time it rains, that water is just going to go right through those empty, uncovered parts of the roof, and they might have that issue every single time it rains there.
Yeah, and we'll also have to see how that roof holds up with wintertime snowpack or ice and freezing and other elements. But it is concerning that this is the second summer concert. They had, I believe, like a comedian or someone come well before, but you're already seeing the first real rain hit this venue, and we already have a postponement. Did you line up? Did you kind of try to enter the venue even though the doors did not open when they did announce the weather delay?
So we got to the Canterbury Park area about 2 o'clock ish, maybe 2:30, and that's when the rain kind of begun. It didn't start raining badly until like an hour and a half afterwards, which it was pouring. Like I'd say for a solid, you know, hour or two straight. Like you couldn't see a football field's length away from where, you know, like from where we were parked. So it was coming down pretty hard. And, it would get calmer and calmer, and it seemed the rain would be done, and then it would just start raining again. And it did that cycle about 3 or 4 times. We never left our vehicle until about, I'd say, 6-ish, 6:15. And a bunch of people were in line. And that's when the alert popped up on their social media pages that the show had been postponed. I feel that the venue could have done a way better job at communicating with people. Because I personally, now this could have worked differently with other people, but me and someone else in our group signed up for text alerts. We didn't get one text alert the entire time from the venue. And we were literally in the premiere lot for probably 3 to 4 straight hours before they called it. So it was definitely a whirlwind of crazy events. I feel like the communication on the venue's part could have been way better.
And the intro video, Amanda talked about like porta potty lines and people waiting to get into the venue but never getting in. Did you notice anything else or that same type of environment?
Yeah, there was really only one line. Like there wasn't a warehouse specific line, an early entry specific line, or a Ticketmaster line. It was all just a big zoo, and no one really knew where to go. There was no staff outside. Like I didn't see one staff member the entire time that we were there. We saw parking directors, but they were literally directing traffic from inside their cars.
Oh,
The whole
wow.
thing just seems mismanaged, both from the the working at the venue aspect, same with the architectural aspect, with which, the giant flooding and the holes in the roof. And whoever built that place or was in charge of the draining, they're definitely going to get chewed out a little bit tomorrow, because there was a lot of water that was in that pit. And from Sanjay's video, it looked like people were using squeegees just to remove the water, and you're never going to get all the water out in a sufficient time using tools like that. So the whole thing, and I get that it's a new venue too, and it is literally like 2 to 3 shows old, but they got to have more common sense than that. That's just my personal opinion, though.
All right. Well, I wish there was more to report. I wish we could get more inside scoop, but with no fans like you not even be able to get into the venue, it's really just not much anymore to report. But thanks for coming on, Connor, and we wish you the best for the rest of your run through the Midwest.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's looking like there's going to be no rain in Kansas City tomorrow, so there will actually be a show to talk about, and I just want to see these boys perform again. But thank you for having me on.
All right. You take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So we want to thank Connor for coming on the post-show stream. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've reached out to other people. Thank you for those of you guys who did message me, text me at the venue. And again, this video, shout out to James, who lives like 5 minutes from the venue. He was excited. He was telling me on X, excited to finally be able to see a show at this venue. He had saw the construction of it, living close to it, and it's one of those things. I think what makes this more frustrating than the Alpine situation is if you're a fan who traveled a long ways, 6 hours. I know someone who told me they traveled from Kansas City today. Now they're happy they have a show tomorrow, but they feel for other fans who just were going to this Shakopee show and traveled a long way. But you travel here, there's no tornado. There was some heavy downpours, but as the show was getting announced as postponed, the sun comes out. So it's like you don't have a life-threatening tornado. There's no life-threatening lightning that's going to be wreaking havoc for 5 hours through the whole night, and you still get a show postponed. But this is just what happens. I am interested to see like what was thought of in the drainage of this venue. What was done to try to get drainage in this lower level. Let me go to, I have some video that I can pull up just to give you guys a better idea of, and this was taken from, I'm going to make sure the audio is off. This was taken from a news channel. They had some drones, but I'm going to show you guys how it looks if you guys are watching this from other parts of the country and you haven't seen any footage of the venue itself. Okay. So this is what the venue looks like. Let's move this down. Right there. Okay. And so it's really cool. Like this lawn is elevated and it's almost like a section, like a third tier. You have this 200 level or like other level. Oops, that goes into the broadcast. But if we just stop it here, you have seats in like a mid-level that have some elevation. Then you have a pit, really literal pit that has the GA pit plus some 100 level style seats or front seats. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little closer. So if we go to, where is it? I'm going to get another video clip, but it's going to show the pit with no, because I think James had this on Twitter. Give me 1 second. And Teddy, I see him. He just posted on X. He's so bummed. And I feel for everyone who was hoping to get to this show. Maybe you're not going to Kansas City tomorrow and this happens. Okay, here we go. So this is from yesterday, MGK. Okay, right here. Oh no, it's like, all right. So the lower level has like a GA pit right here. And then there's some like front seats that are really low hanging, but everything is going sloped down to the stage. And so if there's no drainage system, then water cannot be drained. And I've seen some venues have some drainage, things done for drainage, and you see some metal openings for water to get out. And it just appears they did not properly drain it. Let's play this video just to show you guys. So you can see right there that the quality is like buffering. But you can see, let's see. If I just put this on a loop, like I keep playing this right there, right, that you have that little dip and there's like a lower level seating plus the pit. Right there. Then you have the GA area. And so that's just going to collect water. And so if that water is standing right at the pit, and if there's water on the stage that's compiling up, and you also have issues with the roof, this roof is not, and this is one of the things that I think it'll be interesting. It's interesting how a lot of these newer venues for Live Nation, and this can be construction costs, the older amphitheaters have these more solid roofs in the northern United States. You have these solid roofs like Alpine and Hartford and Mansfield. These roofs they were built years ago, but they're very solid. So if rain is coming, there's no way there's leaks. A lot of these new venues are trying these lighter roofs, and they have, a covering that's not as powerful. And you see these down south too. Down south, a lot of times they make the roofs like this too. Cynthia Woods or the Woodlands, right? Whatever, Cynthia Mitchell Pavilion, whatever that is. You have Tampa, right? West Palm Beach. These roofs are very light and they have a little bit of a covering like this. But they're not as solid wood sheds or solid roofs like that are more durable in the northern United States. Deer Creek too has a nice roof. That's a solid roof that's built for all seasons. So in the off season, that roof is going to hold all the snow that may fall in the Indy Metro. But this roof already looks questionable, and you can see there's openings right here. If rain is going sideways, you have heavy rain, it's not going to hold in. And that's, with premium seating, the premium seating is what got the worst of it. The seating that's down low in these boxes and the pit area, that's where the water really was starting to pile up as everything goes downhill. And so we'll see. Hopefully it's a learning experience and that they do get things together. I do want this to be successful for people in the Twin Cities to have these shows. Amanda talked about that. Do you guys, let me know if there's any frame rate issues. It looks like my connection, something's going on with my connection. I'm sorry if there are some frame rate issues ongoing. It looks like, but let me know in the chat if there's any sort of frame rate issues that you're seeing, or there's like a lag or delay. Someone says the roof is a new thing for us. Hopefully it works if there's rain tomorrow. What are other people saying? Someone says should have been drainage so they can hose it down after each show. Who owns the joint? Deer Creek does have weather challenges all the time. Like it seems like it's been raining either before the show or during the show, or a storm comes to knock it out after. Since the pandemic, there's been rain, except 2022 there was not. I was there that year. But 23, 24, 25, I feel like those 3 years there's been rain around the show, or one of the years, I think it was 23, where they had the storm. Was it 21 or 23 where there was like one of the sets was shortened? But let me know in the chat if the connection was choppy at all at any point. I'll have to reset my router. All right, that's all I got for the coverage here, but I do want to get to some other things. Let's look at the poster. And it's funny because this Alpine poster, I mean, not Alpine, I said Alpine. The methane poster, you have a local fish in an area where there's a lot of lakes and a lot of fishing. This methane poster was actually, more well received than other ones, right? And so, this time of year, there's a lot of lakes to fish in, a lot of rivers to fish in this part of the country, in Minnesota. So this is fitting. You have the fire dancer on the leave right here. If we zoom in, see that fire dancer right there on the leave. And this was one of the better methane posters. So it's kind of crazy that methane makes a good poster and the thing's postponed. The new date, let's also look at that. the new date for this show, I will pull that up, is going to be August 31st. So let me just show you guys what it's going to be looking like. All right. So the band will go to Fiddler's August 28th. You have a show Saturday. August 29th, that's a Sunday. You have a Monday the 30th travel day, and then Tuesday the 31st, this show will take place. Now, what is that going to do? It's going to make it so that fans like Connor that are going to the Gorge, they're not going to be able to make this show because they're going to be en route or preparing for the Gorge, and so they can't drive back to Minnesota and then go to the Gorge. Like, you can, but a lot of people are just going to go to the Gorge. That may have, in the Midwest fans that made the reservations for tonight, they're going to just skip this and go to the Gorge. And also Connor, I think, will be out at Fiddler. So fans who are like Midwest fans that want to go to Colorado, they're going to be out in the Mountain West for the weekend before. So 28th and 29th. Sunday the 30th is going to be a travel day for the band to get back to Minneapolis Metro, the Twin Cities Metro. Shakopee is just south of the Twin Cities there, still within the metropolitan area. And so 831 will have that show. And like I said, it's going to be hard if you're not local to make it to this show if you planning to go out west, which, there's always fans who are traveling from the Midwest to the West Coast for those shows. So you'll have a lot of fans, or a certain percentage of fans, that can't make this rescheduled show. If you are local, or if you're passing on the Gorge, I would look out on Cash or Trade. I'd look out on the warehouse boards. There will be people selling tickets without a doubt that can't make this original date. If they do allow for refunds to be processed, I have not looked that up yet. But like for Alpine, when they had the tornado, I was able to get a refund. Living in Connecticut, I was not flying back out for one Alpine show, so I got my refund. So tickets may appear back on Ticketmaster. This was a tough ticket to get because it's a new venue in a market with DMB fans who typically travel to Alpine or Deer Creek, who were excited to jump on this here. All right. Next up, I want to talk about the new information we got regarding this partnership with Dave Matthews Band and Nugs. And also of note, the pit floods at Jones Beach almost every year. Every other year it seems, and they still play shows. But I think this was just a different situation because they have no drainage. And it's a new venue and they couldn't handle getting this on. So let's go to, I'm going to pull up. And by the way, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Let's pull up this partnership, Dave Matthews Band and Nugs. All right, so I'm going to give you some insight on this. I know there's been a lot of questions. Some of them have been answered. And shout out to Nolan and Bruce from Dave Matthews Band Radio in the corner of Gray Street. They were able to give some context here to fans on some of the message boards and forums, Reddit, as they kind of are tapped into what's going on with SiriusXM Radio and some of these deals because they're, getting some information. But I was able to speak to some people, get some things that I can share here. So first and foremost, this is a big step forward, even though it's not the step that everybody wants. I think the ideal thing everybody wants is for every show to be live streamed via the audio from the live streams. Like they want audio live streams of shows. So if they can listen just to the audio only, and also they want video live streams. And we'll get to that in Volta and all that stuff as far as going over some things. But first and foremost, this deal is audio only. It was going to start tonight. Like the show tonight was going to a day later be available on Nugs, which is a streaming service for audio and video for live music. There is already live tracks in certain select shows available on Nugs right now from Dave Matthews Band and other bands. But this partnership is okay after every show for this summer tour, starting with Kansas City now on the 24th. On June 25th, you'll be able to listen through on the Nugs app to the show from the previous day or previous night at some point the next day. And so this is a huge thing because sometimes there's been shows where we haven't had tape or audio, like actually the Minneapolis show at the Target Center. I believe there was not a taper there. We don't have tape from there. But now we'll be able to get soundboard audio. What that sounds like, how that's done, we'll have to see how it is once we get some of these shows coming out. But we'll get soundboard audio, right? We'll get a high quality audio. It also takes a little pressure off the tapers. I'll be reaching out to them to see what they're going to do. But first of all, shout out to the tapers who still do a lot to tape as many shows as possible, even the Friday Night Concert Series shows. But every show you'll be able to listen to on Nugs a day after. And so instead of having to rely on Couch Tour, and even the Couch Tour streams, people are talking around the Couch Tour streamers, right? And so sometimes that audio is not the best. Sometimes, you don't have to worry, like the taper audio will still be there. It will not be banned. It'll still be allowed as far as what tapers have been told so far. But you have this other option to really listen to some high quality audio from the shows. But it is only for audio, and it is not going to be live streams. So this contract is specifically for the rights to be able to have fans download or stream, and also looks like you're going to be able to purchase these shows. We'll have to see what happens once we get the first show up, but it looks like you'll be able to purchase these shows as well, that's a game changer. Like just the fact that I have 5 shows on this tour coming up, and I'll be able to listen back to these and just kind of relive it and really enjoy good quality audio. That's awesome, because only one of the shows I'm going to is a Friday Night Concert Series show, which is SPAC Night 1. Both Guilford shows in Hartford and SPAC Night 2 are not going to be on the air DMB radio. And so it's audio only. It's not live streams. There's no video. That's the other thing. There is no video with this deal. This is an audio only deal. So right now, there's 3 deals that I know about. Okay. Or partnerships or whatever you want to talk about. Sirius XM Radio, Dave Matthews Band Radio Channel 30. They have the rights to live stream Friday night shows. So those are live on Sirius XM Radio. And prior to this Nugs deal, you were able to listen to a replay of these shows on demand on the Sirius XM app. I believe you will still have that access. We'll have to see what happens this Friday for Deer Creek. SiriusXM also was able to pull certain shows from various tours and also various eras of the band that were never before released with soundboard audio or more thought out high quality audio. And so that's one of the partnerships and deals Dave Matthews Band has with SiriusXM for fans to get access to exclusive audio experiences and having live streams. The other partnership is with Volta. Now, there has not been any news this year as far as what's going on with Volta for this potentially a summer tour or even after this tour. We did get the Take Me Back Live from the Gorge release that also had options for purchase through a Volta for a period of streaming of all 3 nights of the Gorge. So that was there. That partnership has not been terminated as of right now. That partnership is still ongoing. Again, it'd be interesting to see if they have any announcements or any updates, but I would just stay tuned to DMB's social media that would be where you would find it first. But that is still ongoing. So Nugs does not have the rights for live streaming video or audio as of right now. Volta is still locked in for any video potential. SiriusXM's locked in for Friday Night Concert Series being live streamed, plus replays of those shows available on the SXM app. Plus, you have the some of these other things they're releasing on SiriusXM radio, right? And so these are 3 different partnerships or deals and contracts, but they do not overlap. They do not like they kind of all are right now respecting each other. Now? Why is this all coming together now? My thought process is this. SiriusXM radio was around before the band made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But when the band made the Rock Hall, and when we came back and as fans and voted for them, despite them being snubbed or not getting selected during the first go around, despite winning the fan vote, the first ever group to win the fan vote and not get enough ballot votes from other ballot voters to get in the hall since the fan vote era has started. That was a huge blow, but fans still came back and had DMB number 1 during their second time being on the ballot, and they ended up getting in. But the band really appreciated what fans did, the support, the love they got, and so they decided to roll out these live streams with Volta. Now, they had been testing things out prior to that. It isn't like they just said, hey, we're in the Rock Hall, live stream. No, they said, okay, we appreciate what's going on. Now we're going to do this live stream, right? And so that's also around the time I also got tapped in to give feedback and be a beta tester for Volta myself. And so that's why I really believe it was that Rock Hall moment for the band and the fan support and giving back to the fans by having the Volta live stream. Something we've been begging B&B for is this audio option on Nugs, live streaming anywhere, YouTube, Volta, Nugs, wherever we want to be able to live stream for shows. We'll pay for shows as well. So long as they're reasonably priced, we will pay for live streams. And so here we are at the intersection of all these things, and we have things moving better than ever. Is it everything we wanted? No, we still have not heard about what's happening with Volta in the live stream for the summer of 2026, if that's even going to be a possibility. We still do not have audio of every show on SiriusXM radio live streamed or of any kind. That would be awesome. And so we'll see what happens, but this band has come a long way, and it's important to note if this band wanted to have all these things done, they could have had this done a decade ago. It appears to me that maybe the band members were like, we don't really want every show live streamed. We'd rather have the live tracks and have certain things selected, but we don't care about everything being live. And that's their decision. That's their right. But it appears the fan support and the fan reaction to some of these rewards that the band has given us for supporting them all these years through live streams, through SiriusXM, because it's been received so well, they're like, well, okay, we'll try to give the fans a little more of what they want. But you got to understand, Corin Capshaw, right? He also manages Fish, and Fish has a Nugs-based Fish-specific app called Live Fish. So this idea that, DMB just doesn't know the trends of what's going on with Nugs and all this stuff. They know, like, the crew knows exactly what's going on. And they have management that is literally doing things with other artists that are part of Corin Capshaw. Fish being the really obvious them. Look at them over there, them that do live stream everything. Now, also, Fish is a little bit different. They are a jam band. The jam you're going to get every night at a Fish show is literally going to be different chord progression wise. You have type 2 jams. You have different things that it segues into. And so there's a lot more diversity in the jams of a Fish show, Where Dave Matthews Band, again, I've always said they're not a jam band. They're a band that happens to have some very structured improv. And if anything, some of the older years, you'll hear on the Blue Water outro for this show, the older years had much more like unique jamming than the current years. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. They do not need to be a jam band. They're a band that has chart topping hits. Their primary communication is not through the improv and music. Their primary communication is through the vocals. The improv and the stuff they do is just an added bonus for the music that is primarily connecting people via the lyrics. Jam bands don't connect people via lyrics. The lyrics can play a part, but it's a secondary part. Jam bands, in my opinion, my definition is they use the jams to communicate with the audience. The audience appreciates the different things they do. They understand a lot of how these segues and signals and chord progressions work. And that's what people go to jam band shows for the jams. People don't go to D&B exclusively for the jams. They go for the music, the singing, and the dancing. And also, they happen to also go for the jam. Anyway, that's just my thing. So it is different, and there's a lot more diversity with the traditional jam band than Dave Matthews Band improv. Like, you can almost predict who's going to solo win. And even like 41, okay, it's going to be, here's where Tim's going to get, 32 bars, and then Rashawn's going to get 32 bars, and there's not going to be a sax solo because I don't know why. But that's D&B. Like, people still love 41. Most of the fan base, most of the crowd there doesn't care that there's no sax solo, right? Although I do. But you know what I mean? Like, they just like, oh, it's 41. I've been chased. Like, there's people that literally are still hoping to hear 41 for the first time that are newer fans. I've literally seen it this tour. People, I finally got 41, right? And it took me like 7 shows to get 41. So some of these songs, people just want to hear them. People just want to experience the singing of the lyrics. It's not about the jam. So I say all that to say that that's where we're at with Nugs, Volta, and SiriusXM. I think Bruce said that it's possible that some of these shows that are going to be on Nugs, you may get more midweek. Like, it's possible that you could take the show from Kansas City tomorrow and put it on SiriusXM radio a couple of days after it happens as well. So we'll see what happens. That would be awesome too. It'd bring more value to DMB radio to be like, okay, like Fish does that, right? You can hear a Fish show on replay that just happened the night before, right? They take that audio that's put on Nugs and you can hear it on Fish radio if you listen in at the right time, right? And it's usually like the same time every day after a Fish concert. You can hear a live stream of most shows. That would be another bonus to add on with Nugs and everything. And also having SiriusXM radio have that option. I believe we talked about the live tracks last time. It's a Utah show, Salt Lake City, the Delta Center. What else? Deer Creek. Everyone, if you're traveling to Deer Creek for the first time, don't look at the weather until about 2 hours prior to showtime. It will keep changing until 2 hours prior to showtime. So I wouldn't worry about the weather. What else is going on? I will talk about this another time. Maybe I'll make a standalone video. There is a website that I want to give love to. Chris Drews, who's part of the Almanac. He created a whole website for tracking posters. It is called dmbpostervault.com, but I want to give it the right justice. I'm not going to do that tonight. I appreciate you guys standing in. This was kind of a makeshift stream, and I appreciate Connor, Amanda, also everyone on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook that reached out to me. I just got one. Looks like Matt. Let me see if I can get a couple final before I go to the outro video. Let's see. So we have Matt just said. Okay, so a lot of people were just upset that it was canceled due to flooding and it appeared to be a venue error. That's the biggest thing that I'm getting from people, and I appreciate everyone for reaching out. I did ask people to give their perspective. What else? So someone from, I told you about someone from Kansas City, just kind of looking at Sanjay, the photographer on this leg of the tour for DMB, send some video, send some clips on X, but it's also like, again, the stories got deleted. I think the band just wanted him to say, don't share. They know it's postponed. But it's unfortunate that, oh my gosh, Tyrus Reed Jr. he's with the Spurs. Okay. I'm trying to watch the NBA draft. My UConn Huskies got some people, Caravan and Tyrus Reed Jr., that are looking to make it to the pros. So I was just, he's with the Spurs. Okay. I thought maybe he got traded. Did he get traded? Because they said Denver Nuggets. Let's see. Let's see. Did he get moved? I don't know. I'll check later. Sorry. I don't know. You guys don't care, but I was trying to see if my guy got drafted. Caravan. Oh, he went to Cleveland. Okay. Shout out to Alex Caravan. All right. So the Huskies have gotten off the board. Just made it out in the end of the first round. 29th of the 30 picks. All right. What was I saying? I can't remember if what I was saying. But if you guys are in Kansas City, I would love to have some of you guys in the post-show stream tomorrow. I will be live then. Oh, the DMB poster vote. We'll give that justice in another video or post-show stream. And we'll try to go through that. Shout out to Chris Drews for creating that. That's DREWS, Chris Drews. He's a taper as well in this community and done a lot to help people out. Part of the Almanac team as well. All right, we're going to close out. This is going to be a long one, but I'll play it out for you guys. This is taper audio from the Blue Water that I put on social media the other day, just me listening to part of it. This is a Blue Water from 1993. It was it wasn't released to the public until last week. This audio was recovered, and I'll credit everyone in this outro video. But this was recovered, and then the DMB Almanac got a hold of it last week from somebody else who got it from the actual taper who was trying to get rid of tapes in the basement. And so we have a whole nother performance of Blue Water to add on to the ones from the 1993. Some of them don't have Peter Grisar, including the live tracks 20, which is from the same venue, the Wetlands in New York City. They have Warren Haynes, but Peter had left the band already. But this one has Peter in it, so it's a little bit different. No Warren Haynes. I'll just play it. You guys enjoy it. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'll make sure to be back tomorrow to give you guys updates about the show from Kansas City, a city that I need to go back to have more barbecue. I loved being there for Sweet 16 back in 2017, Midwest Regional. Yeah, Sweet 16 and Elite 8, the Midwest Regional for NCAA men's basketball. So, KC, you guys are up next. Oh, shout out to Pastor Brian Zahn. I love him. He is out of St. Joseph, Missouri, and he also is he has a sermon on Samurai Cop. I hope he can be there. If he's in town, maybe he's at that show. But I love his stuff. He had a whole sermon on Samurai Cop there. And I think he did another DMB song as well, where he does this series, Finding God Through Your iPod. So, KC, you guys are up next. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm so sorry for everyone that tried to drive out, flew out to this show tonight, and it's postponed. And I know a lot of out-of-towners can't make the new date. I feel bad. I've been through this with Alpine, but I had the grace of there were tornadoes, literally 3 or 4 tornadoes within 50 to 100 miles of the Alpine venue that night. Tonight, there were no tornadoes. There was limited lightning. And unfortunately, the flooding was just too much for the crew and for them to be comfortable letting fans in. Safety first. Hopefully this can be a learning point. Hopefully they can get some drainage, get some things resolved. Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities, you guys deserve to have these type of concerts that are stacked for this lineup. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. And I feel bad for those who can't make it. All right, I'm going to shut up. Enjoy this blue water. I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you all very much again for coming out. It's probably our last tune. It's called Blue Water. It's kind of our epic tune, you know, about the woody. Walking by wherever reach my hands to cut the sky. Roll down my arms, a better blue. Turn to red and the grasses blue. Wherever chased me, I am so much more than I had ever been. No. Take this, my arm. Take this, my eyes. Take this, my mouth, and all it says to be completely true. Oh, 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 yeah. Walking by wherever I reach my hands to cup the sky. Roll down my arms, if it's a blue, turn to red down the gashes. Taste me, I am so much more than I have ever been. No.
Bye.